As you drive down the open desert of eastern Utah on Interstate 70, you have an opportunity to view some very unique Native American rock art. Rock art that has the ghostly appearance of aliens from another world. While in the canyon, you can also visit the ghost town of Sego, a ghost town whose cemetery and some of its structures can still be found intact. Come along with us as we show you the Sego Canyon Rock Art and Ghost Town. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a minute of Colorado Martini. Not far east from the turnoff for Moab, Utah, you will exit the I-70 freeway at exit 187. Head north down Utah State Highway 94, which is also known as Thompson Canyon Road. About 2 miles, you will reach the living ghost town of Thompson. Thompson is also known as Thompson Springs, a town that has less than 40 permanent residents. In 1911, commercial mining in Sego Canyon began just north of the town, which brought in the Ballard and Thompson Railroad that connected the mines with the railhead at Thompson. The railroad branch line and mines continued to operate until about 1950. For many years, the city was served by various passenger trains. The service continued through the area until 1983, but construction of the I-70 2 miles south of Thompson Springs drew traffic away from the city, and the former old Sego Highway through the town was no longer used and renamed Frontage Road. In 1997, the train line ceased from coming into the area, which led to further economic hardship for Thompson Springs. Now the town is a shell of its former self. Once you drive through the town on Thompson Canyon Road, continue into the Book Cliffs. The Sego Rock Art Panel parking lot will be on the left about 4.1 miles up the road. So the road's kind of potholey, but so far it's paved. And it's about 2.5 miles from Thompson Springs. At least that's what the sign said. Do note, if you go further, that there is a Ute reservation further up the road, and to please respect that and not go past that boundary. So when you get out of the car, you're going to have some right at the cliff right in front of you. Then there's some right here, and then there's the big ones are around the corner. So make sure that you walk out and keep going further down the road north, because there's a lot more and actually very impressive. So let's go take a look at those. What's really great about these is that they're still color. Most of the ones I've seen are faded and they don't have the color anymore, but these still have the red color to them, which is really cool. Sego Canyon contains 3 culturally distinctive styles of rock art: the Fremont, the Ute, and the ancient cultures all made the rock art in this area. The 4 panels contain pictographs and petroglyphs. Petroglyphs being a style that etches the picture into the rock, and pictographs which are painted onto the rock. Opposite the entrance to the parking lot are pictographs credited to the Ute, which are the local Native American tribe that gives Utah its name. The Ute lived here until around 1880, when they were forced onto reservations. Their figures sometimes include shields, marking that this is their land, and horses, which were not introduced to the continent until Christopher Columbus's second voyage in 1493. On the northern wall, facing the parking lot, are petroglyphs attributed to the Fremont people who lived in Utah, Idaho, Colorado, and Nevada from the 1st to the 14th century. Fremont art includes longhorned sheep and trapezoidal human-like figures. The heads are sometimes decorated with headgear and jewelry. The ancient rock art dates from 8000 BC until around 1000 AD. When you walk around the northern wall of the parking lot, you will see some of the most amazing pictographs we have come across. These paintings, in what is called Barrier Canyon style, were created by the ancient people of this area. So you just kind of hike out here a little bit to get to these. Probably too narrow to get a wheelchair back here, but it's definitely flat. So these are vandalized too by somebody named Whipple. They carved an 1800 date on there, but it looks, I don't know, just looks a little modern, but it might have been in the 1800s. But you walk a little further, and this is where the really impressive ones are around the corner here on this panel. So you're walking north from the parking lot to find these really impressive ones. Oh my goodness, those are impressive. You come in the morning, then you're going to get the best sunlight in the morning. So right now it's about 10:30 in the morning, and look at the perfect sunlight that we have. One thing I will say about these ones, they really look alien, like they're alien beings. I mean, really look at those. It's just those eyes, and they're just kind of eerie looking. So just to show you how big these are, here's my hand. I'm probably about, 25 feet down from them. So you can see these are really, really big. But there's even bigger ones across the street from these. So this is there's about 4 panels I have found so far. So let's go look at this 4th panel. It's supposed to be the most impressive. So here's the parking lot. There's a panel there. There's a panel here. Even a more impressive panel around the corner right here. And then over there across the street are even more. So let's go take a look at those. Looks like here's the artwork right here. It looks like they had some type of bridge there at one time. This probably really gets washed out in the winter time. But God, those are amazing. So now I'm walking down the road a little bit right here on this outcrop, and there's supposed to be some amazing ones. So you have to be careful here. Is private property up in this area here. Mr. Martini says I'm going to be really mad when I see all the vandalism on these. So let's see what we got. I can see some right there. Where are the big ones? I see more over there. Alright. So this outcrop here seems to be on private property. So bring a telephoto. You can take them from a distance like I did. But what's really sad is these are very vandalized. But right there, those right there they're life size. So they're very big. They're some of the biggest ones I've ever seen. But there is a no trespassing sign. It's kind of hard to tell if this is private property or just the corral part is. I'm not sure, but to play it safe, you might want to stay out and take your pictures from a distance. So bring your telephoto. So here's one of the panels, and the one that seems to be on private property is here. Again, telephoto. There is a trail right here that you can go up and see them from a distance and get pictures. I just kind of got on top of our vehicle with my telephoto to get them. I didn't want to trespass. So now we're going to go find the ghost town. Come here in the morning. It gets really hot out here. And you're going to have your best lighting on most of your panels, and in the graveyard and every place. So definitely bring plenty of water when you come out, and try to be here before noon if you can. So the ghost town, you stay on the same road, about 0.8 miles up the road. Note that once you go over the cow grades next to the rock art, everything goes to dirt. So if it's the rainy season, just be warned that you might have issues.
Especially in the washes.
Especially in the washes, yes. There are a couple of washes you have to go through. Sego was once a thriving coal mining camp started in 1910 by the American Fuel Company. The town's spur railroad line, a company store, a boarding house, and a post office help make up the town. So, according to some notes I have, there's an intriguing headstone on the southwest corner of this graveyard. Well, this is a really cool old western graveyard. So it's kind of nice. Today's Memorial Day. Somebody came and put a fresh flag on that headstone there. So most of the headstones you can't read. Now, one thing I do know, several people died of the Spanish flu in here. You're going to see some if you can read any headstones, you're going to see 1918. There's actually a lot of recent headstones in here too from local people. So many of the graves, you can only tell it's a grave by a mound or some rocks that somebody's piled up. It's like this one is just a mound, which is really sad. So if you walk a little south of the graveyard, you can look down at the canyon.
Yeah. 4x4 trail right through this hill.
Yeah. Well, the ghost town should be down in here.
Yeah, let's go find it.
Let's go find it.
Oh, let's go find it.
Let's go find it. Because we're up on Boot Hill right now.
Yeah, it's funny because there's no boots up here.
So many of the people in this graveyard are unmarked. This particular gentleman was an Italian miner. And if you notice, it says November 10th, 1918. Many people in this cemetery died of the Spanish flu. It ravished the town, and he was one of the victims of the Spanish flu. Rest in peace, my friend. So make sure you shut the gate, because somebody didn't shut the gate, and a cow got in here. You can see their footprints everywhere. They're like all over the place, the cow. And he also pooped all over in here. So please make sure that you shut this gate right here. You just, basically just, have a little tie here that you take off to get in. So this is a really cool cemetery. Definitely come by and pay your respects. It just has a beautiful view up here, and it's right before you go into the Sego Ghost Town. So let's go take a look at the Sego Ghost Town. Do note that the ghost town is private property, so respect the land. As far as I know, you're welcome to go around the see the buildings and everything, but just respect the land. This town suffered from many issues related to water. Its creeks and springs started to dry up, and flash floods were a constant issue, causing the railroad bridges and trestles to wash out frequently. The coal company struggled to make a profit, and miners went on strike when they didn't get paid for months at a time. The corporate coal company moved out of the area in 1947. The remaining miners bought what was left and established a company of their own. But that didn't last either. Flash floods wiped out the last remnants of the town life in the 1950s and forced any remaining miners to leave. It was completely abandoned by 1955. So those is that railroad, or
Yeah,
was
railroad.
that a road that's washed out?
Looks like railroad.
And we're seeing a lot of old bridge structures. Like here's one right here. That's like the third washed out bridge structure I've seen. So now they're just deep washes that you go through. Definitely coming up to the ghost town. There's quite the structure right there. I think that was the general store.
It's already one of my favorite ghost towns.
Wow. That is awesome. There's like something up in there too.
At her house.
Yeah, it's
shack.
like a house or a shack that's up there. And I think this was the store. I'm going to double check. Oh, wow. This is the rest of that track. Interesting. Think it's an old mine shaft?
Yeah. Either that or his outbuilding fell down. I don't know. Maybe that is exactly what that is.
You wouldn't put a big beam like that,
Look
though.
at the timber. It's the same as that.
It is the same as that. So it's like
Storage or a
yeah,
house.
something like that.
Didn't have separate bedrooms back then.
Nope.
Had to wait till the kids were asleep.
So there's a really nice shaded area. Park your car. It's right next to the brick structure. There's some old cars out here. Come on, let's go explore. Here's a collapsed building. So there's the brick structure. We'll go take a look at that in a second. This looks like it had a cellar.
Well, somebody owns all this property.
Yes, it's private property, but you can go to the structures, but you have to, you know, respect them. Look at the old car.
Well, yeah, it's the barn find over here.
A barn find. Yeah, you have fun with that project. Mr. Martini goes, don't you feel like, you know, when you feel like you're the only person in town? So this all closed down in the 40s, started the late 1890s. Got a little lizard friend there. There's lots of lizards out here. Careful of snakes. Hey, you. Oh, wow. That thing's awesome. Awesome. So now let's go check out this brick building. That thing is cool. Find the path up into it. Oh, here's one. Oh, wow, this was a big building. Looks like it has a cellar. Awesome.
Yeah.
So, oh, wow, yeah.
To come down here, you could shoot bulbs. There's also an old entry for cattle over here. It's kind of cool.
So that structure is, we're on the east side of that building. So this one's really cool. Wow. So we can go through the front door if we go down there, and there's some, oh, I see the cattle, like a corral.
Mm-hmm.
You can even see the old roof here, the indention. That's awesome. That's what happened to them, is they ran out of water. So.
Up and at 'em over here, baby.
Okay, be right there. So here's this house.
Just add the brush and the rattlesnakes, baby.
Yeah, and then we're going down here, see what's down here.
Shoot both structures.
Okay. It's like an old corral right here. See the two structures there. This is the house and this the grocery store, I guess. Watch out for cow patties.
This way.
Oh, there's like some old artifacts there, an old can. What?
Let's see if I can find more buildings back here.
Oh, back in here?
Can't see anything.
Yeah, this is a wash, so there's probably no buildings back here.
Oh, I'd have built mine at the water.
Yeah, and it will just flood. Very cool.
It's inside that building earlier.
Here?
I was down here by myself.
Mr. Martini says he heard a little girl's voice when he was inside here. And the only other people here are some people that just showed up and they're adults. So it looks like there was a structure right here. We went further up the road. And it's
Foundation to a long
Yeah.
building.
definitely a foundation. So it's definitely coal trailings up here, further up the road. And be careful, there's a lot of cattle trucks that go back and forth.
Those are horse trucks.
They actually have horses in them. but you know, they're pretty good size, and this is not a huge road, so just be warned.
Metal ruins up on the hill there.
So there's like metal ruins up there.
10 up in there.
So this looks like, you know, this was where the mine was. So Sego Canyon, that was awesome. What'd you think?
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was definitely worth the offshoot from I-70 to come out here. That's one of the best ghost towns that I've gone to.
Oh, that and combined it with the rock art.
Like, the rock art was amazing. I've never seen figures so big before. I mean, and intact. So definitely take a ride out here. It's worth it. When you go past the rock art, it turns dirt, gets a little rough the further out you get. But just be careful in the rainy season because those creeks can get a bit full. But right now, in the summertime, they're total trickles.
Full creek is a happy creek.
But yeah, Sego Canyon, definitely a thumbs up. So there are a lot of, well, there's two, it looks like, RV parks here in Thompson Springs. It looks like there's a lot of great ATV trails out in the Sego Canyon and Thompson Canyon area. But if you're looking for a place on your way someplace else, off the I-70, there are some RV parks you can camp out. Make sure you catch all our videos on the great state of Utah.